My colleague completely stabbed me in the back, and my girlfriend betrayed me too. Those two are secretly plotting to steal the massive project I am running. They really want to strip me of absolutely everything and leave me with nothing, a stray dog. They think I am just some soft pushover they can mold however they want. But what they don't know, I am actually the cybersecurity maintenance guy at the shopping mall. Every single plotting word, every shady move they make, I have recorded all of it perfectly clearly. I am just sitting by the street, happily enjoying some barbecue, when LK shoves his phone screen in my face. Sure enough, it shows Sankit's social media page. Right there in the photo is my girlfriend, LC Thin, along with a cheesy caption saying her cooking is the absolute best medicine. LC Thin is wearing that exact light blue knit sweater I bought for her. She leans into Sankit's shoulder like a helpless little bird. On the table right in front of them sit 4 savory dishes, plus a delicate soup looking straight out of a restaurant display. Sankit has his arm casually wrapped around her shoulder, smiling so proudly. And on his wrist, he is actually wearing the watch Elsie Thin gave me for my birthday last year. She called it a couple's item. Turns out, he has one too. Looking back at it now feels completely ironic. LK pulls his phone back, his expression full of pure anger mixed with a bit of caution. V, you see this? Elsie Thin is going way too far here. Didn't she literally just say her mom was sick today, and she had to go home to care for her? Why is she running over to Sankit's place? I just grab a fragrant grilled pork belly skewer, blow on it once, and toss it right into my mouth. That rich, fatty aroma instantly fills my mouth. Yeah, I see it. I reply with this totally calm voice, like I am reading news that has absolutely nothing to do with me. LK freezes. V, why are you just reacting like that? Please do not let anger make you stupid. These two are clearly cheating on you right behind your back. That punk Sankit always goes against you at the company. Now, he takes your girlfriend. And you can actually hold it in? I chug a huge gulp of cold beer, the icy liquid sliding down my throat, totally putting out that last bit of anger inside me. How could I not be mad? How is that even possible? The first time I caught Elsie Thin and Sankit acting shady was exactly 3 months ago. She claimed she was working overtime that day, so I bought her favorite strawberry cake, waited downstairs at the company, and actually saw her step right into Sankit's expensive car instead. Now pay attention here. The second time, she said she was shopping with her best friend, but I actually saw her and Sankit inside a high-end jewelry store right through the security cameras of the shopping mall, where I literally work as the cybersecurity maintenance guy. A third time, a fourth time, getting stood up by Elsie Thin way too often. My heart already felt heavy as water. I even thought about breaking up quickly, to just let those two be together, but I simply cannot do that, at least not right now. I look at LK's worried face, then just smile and pat his shoulder. Do not worry, I have my own plans. Go grab me 20 kidney skewers and 10 beef tendon skewers. LK opens his mouth to say something, but finally just sighs heavily. He turns around and goes to order food from the boss. He thinks I am drinking away my sorrow, using food to totally numb myself. But only I know I'm waiting for an opportunity, a chance to completely destroy their reputations, making sure they never recover. After eating and drinking my fill, I head back to the apartment I rent with Elsie Thin. The second I open the door, a strong perfume smell hits my nose. It is not the kind Elsie Thin usually wears. It is sweeter, harsher, carrying this flashy vibe, like it wants to hide something. A men's jacket is casually tossed right on the living room sofa. I instantly recognize it belongs to Sankit. My eyes go hard for a second, then I quickly pull my calm face back on. Elsie Thin walks out of the bedroom. Seeing me, a flash of pure panic hits her eyes, but she covers it up super fast with this carefully faked exhaustion. She is wearing a silk nightgown, her hair still kinda wet. Clearly, she just took a shower. V, you are back? She steps closer, naturally reaching out to hug my arm out of habit. But I just lean away and dodge her. Her hand freezes right in midair, a look of pure awkwardness flashing across her face. What is wrong with you? She gives me this totally pitiful look, the edges of her eyes turning a bit red. Are you seriously still mad at me? My mom suddenly got high blood pressure today. I rushed home so fast I forgot to tell you. I'm so sorry. This trick again. For 3 years, her innocent, pitiful act has completely kept me under her thumb. No matter what mistake she makes, the second she drops a tear, I instantly soften up. I would always blame absolutely everything on myself instead. You can probably guess my reaction. I look at her, totally unfazed inside, honestly finding it a bit funny. It is fine. Mom's health is the most important thing. I change my shoes, walk over to the sofa, and bend down to pick up Sangkit's jacket. What exactly is this? I hold the jacket up, asking her totally calmly. Elsie Thin's face instantly goes pale white. Her lips tremble, unable to speak for a long moment, then she seems to remember something. She quickly explains. This belongs to my coworker. It was raining on my way back today, and I forgot my umbrella. He kindly brought me home. The jacket got wet, so we just left it here. This excuse is completely full of holes. Today was perfectly sunny and dry. Where did she find rain? I do not expose her, just nod and toss the jacket back on the sofa. Alright, just remember to return it to him. After saying that, I walk straight into the study room and lock the door tightly from the inside. Separated by the door, I can almost hear Elsie Thin breathing a huge sigh of relief. I open my computer and click on a piece of software cleverly disguised as a simple calculator. After punching in a super complicated passcode, the surveillance interface pops right up on screen. The video feed shows our living room. It is a hidden angle from that smart speaker I just installed a few days ago. I scrubbed the timeline back an hour before I walked through the door, and right there on screen, Sangkit and Elsie Thin holding each other tight. Tiu Thin, when are you finally going to dump that TN guy and show your cards? Sangkit asks, his voice completely filled with impatience. He says he does not want to wait another single day. Just look at this run-down place he lives in. Small, old, and making you suffer way too much. Elsie Thin playfully punches his chest. Oh come on, what is the rush? TNV might be pretty poor, but he treats me really well. Plus, she adds, his Thean Kun project is the company's absolute top priority this year, worth tens of millions. Haven't you always wanted to steal it right out of his hands? That project was supposed to be mine anyway, he snaps. Sangkit lets out a pretty cold scoff. If the old boss wasn't so completely biased, there is no way a second-rate college grad like him would ever qualify to lead a project this important. I am the one with a master's degree from a top school. Elsie Thin's voice gets even softer, hissing just like a snake flicking its tongue. That is exactly why we must take this step by step. It is not time to fold yet, in case we push him too far. If he destroys the core project data, we both end up with absolutely nothing. Just be patient and endure it a little bit longer. I am so incredibly close to getting his computer password now. Once we finally secure the project, he will be left as nothing but a pathetic stray dog who has lost absolutely everything. I will kick him to the curb in one strike, and we will not have a single obstacle in our way anymore. Sangkit seems completely convinced, a smug smile spreading across his face. He grabs Elsie Thin by the waist, leans down for a kiss, and praises his clever little Tiu Thin. Once this is all over, I am buying you a luxury downtown condo and getting you that Maserati. She playfully tells him how annoying he is. Now watch how I handle this. Staring at these two ugly betrayers on screen, I feel totally numb. I simply save the entire video, crypt it, and upload it safely. The Thean Kun project is the result of my blood, sweat, and tears for 2 whole years. A completely brand new smart urban traffic management system. Once it succeeds, it will not only bring in massive profits for the company, but also completely transform my entire career. Sangkit, acting as both my colleague and my biggest rival, has had his eyes locked onto this exact project for a very long time. I just never expected him to use such deeply toxic tactics, let alone that the girlfriend I loved for 3 years would be a literal knife straight to my ribs. Fine, then. If you two want it so badly, I'm going to give you a real chance to see if you can even handle the heat. Over the next few days, I start pulling off an award-winning performance. I get super quiet, stop eating, mess up at work constantly, and my whole body just radiates this utterly broken aura of a guy completely destroyed by emotional pain. Elki gets incredibly anxious watching me. Every day he drags me out for drinks, constantly reminding me that there are plenty of other fish around. Company management pulls me in for a chat twice, heavily hinting that if I do not fix my mindset soon, the Thean Kun project might get handed to someone else. Meanwhile, Sangkit walks around like a total winner, constantly hovering in front of me. He spits out all these fake words of concern, but that absolute smugness in his eyes is impossible to hide. Hey, TNV, are you alright? You have been looking pretty rough lately. If you need anything, just tell your bros. Do not carry it all alone. He pats my shoulder, squeezing hard to show off his dominance. I just shake my head without saying a single word. Honestly, Elsie Thin's acting skills are also getting sharper every day. Every day she makes soup for me, asking all these sweet questions, playing the perfect role of a devoted woman deeply worried about her boyfriend. V, what is actually wrong with you? Please do not scare me like this. She grabs my hand, forcing tears to fall on command. Is the pressure from work just getting too heavy? Or maybe you should share some of the project with Sankit. His abilities are pretty strong, and if you both work on it together, you would feel a lot more relieved. You see what she's doing, right? I look up at her with totally bloodshot eyes, asking in a hoarse voice. Do you really think I should trust him? A quick flash of pure joy sparks in Elsie Thin's eyes, but she instantly replaces it with the completely anxious look. Sankit might have a bit of a foul mouth usually, but everyone definitely acknowledges his actual work skills. You two are colleagues, so you should help each other out. Besides, I noticed he really wants to make peace with you lately. Make peace? I let out a sharp, cold laugh. Exactly, Elsie Thin nods eagerly. Just look, to make you happy, I even begged him to help out. He even promised me that as long as you agree, he will treat us both to a nice meal as a way of apologizing. This little play of theirs is seriously getting intense. I stay silent for a long time, finally acting like I'm making a deeply exhausting choice. Fine, I tell her, let him know I'm hosting a dinner at Kwanlan CC this Friday night. Elsie Thin gets insanely happy, hugging me tight and planting a huge kiss on me. V, you are seriously so wonderful. I knew you were the most generous guy ever. What she completely fails to see behind my lowered head is the cold, sharp smirk slowly creeping up my face. Because Kwanlan CC is one of the most ridiculously expensive family restaurants around, where the average cost per person easily hits 4 digits. With my usual spending habits, there is absolutely zero chance I would ever step foot in a place like that. I picked that exact spot to make them think I was completely blinded by love, willing to throw away serious money just to save my relationship with Elsie Thin. Friday night, I arrive early at the VIP room in the Kwanlan Pavilion. The whole place is decorated in this really elegant, classic style. Right across is a massive floor-to-ceiling window looking out over the glowing city nightscape. And pretty soon Elsie Thin and Sankit come strolling in, actually holding hands. Elsie Thin keeps up her gentle, perfectly understanding act, affectionately linking my arm. Meanwhile, Sankit is sporting this high-end tailored suit, hair slicked all the way back, wearing a matching couple's watch that just sparkles under the bright lights. He looks me up and down with this arrogant stare, barely hiding how smug he feels. TNV, sorry to make you spend so much, he says with fake politeness. I force out a smile that looks honestly worse than crying. No problem. Anything for Tio Thin. Elsie Thin gives this sweet little smile, placing some food in my bowl. Eat up, she says. Look at how much weight you have lost lately. The whole dinner has this crazy underlying tension. Sankit never stops bragging about his wealthy family background, his elite degree, his massive network of connections, and his incredibly bright future. Every single word he says implies that I am completely unworthy of Elsie Thin. And Elsie Thin just plays along perfectly right beside him, shooting Sankit these adoring looks, then turning back to comfort me, like some peacekeeper trying to keep things calm. Through all of this, I stay completely silent, just drinking non-stop. After a few rounds, I pretend to be totally wasted and collapse onto the table. A V, Elsie Thin shakes my shoulder. I just mumble once and stop moving. She and Sankit share a quick look, and he instantly gets the hint. Tio Thin, go help him over to the sofa to rest for a bit, Sankit says. Elsie Thin drags me over to the couch in the private room, then heads right back to the dinner table. I squint through the sofa cushions, watching them. He is actually drunk, Elsie Thin whispers. Serves him right, Sankit says with a disgusted sneer. A guy who becomes pure trash after one little setback. Did you get the password yet? Not yet, Elsie Thin replies, sounding a bit frustrated. Right now, he guards against me so hard. His computer has a new dynamic password, different every single time. But watch this move closely. She tells him to relax, saying she already plugged a tiny copying USB right into the back of my computer. The second he boots it up for work tomorrow, we can rip all the data. Sankit nods, looking super satisfied. You did a great job. Once we get that data, I am telling the big boss that TNV is mentally unstable. I will say he can't handle the Thi and Kun project anymore and volunteer to take over. By then, this entire project will belong to me. And what about TNV? What about him? A loser who lost his biggest value. Are you keeping him around for the holidays? Sankit laughs coldly. Once he hands over the project, just break up with him. He loses his work, loses his girl. Let's see how he manages to survive at the company after that. I will do whatever you say. Elsie Thin giggles playfully, snuggling right into Sang-kit's arms. I close my eyes. My fists clench so hard. My nails almost dig into my flesh. Perfect. The fish took the bait. The next day, Saturday, I pretend to head into the office for overtime like usual. LC Thin acts even more motivated than I do, waking up early just to make breakfast. V, do you really have to work overtime today? Can't you rest for one more day? She looks so deeply concerned. I shake my head. The project is rushing me. So your computer password is still the same old one, right? She asks, pretending to sound completely casual. I give her a look, hesitating on purpose for a second before saying yeah. I switch to a dynamic password linked to my bank card, just to keep things a bit safer. As I say this, I deliberately avoid looking at her. It gives her the illusion that I am still cautious, yet somehow still blindly hoping things work out between us. A quick flash of disappointment definitely hits Elsie Thin's eyes, but she covers it up really fast. Then you better get going, be careful on the road. I grab my laptop bag and leave the house, but instead of the office, I grab a seat at the cafe right under our apartment building. Then I boot up my backup laptop. I log straight back into the hidden surveillance software again. Less than 10 minutes after I left, Sang-kit comes sneaking right into my house. He and LC Thin march straight into the study. He said the password is dynamic. So what do we do? LC Thin asks anxiously. Why are you panicking? Sang-kit is clearly fully prepared. I already guessed he would pull a trick like this. So what if it is a dynamic password? And here is where the trap snaps. He explains that once I log in, that USB she plugged in will automatically start working, so they just have to wait. After saying that, he pulls this compact little signal receiver out of his pocket, with a tiny blue indicator light on it, just blinking incredibly slowly. Look, it is starting to copy. Sang-kit smiles so smugly. I bought this little gadget for a super high price from a hacker friend of mine. Total ghost mode. Once the data transfer is fully complete, this USB will just format itself automatically, leaving absolutely zero trace behind. LC Thin stares at him with total adoration. Sang, you are so amazing. Obviously, he replies. Sang-kit pulls her tight into his arms. The two of them start getting intimate inside my study. I just stare coldly at the screen, sipping my coffee. Fools. They always think they have everything perfectly under their control. What they don't know is that so-called tiny copying USB from the very beginning is actually just a massive trap I set up. That exact device, I intentionally sold it to Sang-kit's hacker buddy through a second-hand website. But that specific hacker friend is actually my junior from back in my college days. A complete computer genius who is currently working at a really top-tier cybersecurity firm. Sure, this USB drive can definitely copy data, but what it's copying isn't the core source code for the Thien Quinn project. It's actually a Trojan horse that I prepared extremely carefully. This specific Trojan package actually includes 3 different things. First off, a totally fake Thien Quinn project folder, filled with source code and documents that look absolutely flawless, but in reality secretly replace the entire core algorithm with completely flawed logic. Anyone who actually tries to compile and run it will eventually just get a massive pile of garbage code and a total system crash. The second thing is a location tracking and feedback program that all the standard antivirus software out there simply cannot ever detect. From the exact second it gets activated, every single operation Sang-kit makes, including which IP address he uses to log in, what files he accesses, and who he plans to send them to, gets recorded perfectly and transmitted straight to my server in real time. Third, and easily the most important part of all, is just a little present, an encrypted file literally named gift. I purposely set the password for this file as Sang-kit's most frequently used catchphrase from the company's own internal forum. You know his type. He won't be able to hold back his curiosity and will definitely try opening it. And once he enters that password, the moment the file decrypts, it triggers a script that automatically sends out all the videos I recorded of him and Luke Thien conspiring together in the living room. All of it goes straight from my study out to the entire senior management team, and also to Sang-kit's dad, who happens to be a major shareholder. So right now, I just need to sit back and quietly wait for Sang-kit to completely ruin his own career. On Monday, when I step into the company, the vibe in the whole office feels incredibly weird. People are looking at me with this mix of pity, sympathy, and maybe a little gossip. Lai Kai immediately rushes over and drags me into the break room. Tun Vu, something really huge just happened, he stammers, sweating bullets. First thing this morning, Zhao Ta, our CEO, officially announced that the Theme Quinn project is being taken over by Sangeet, and you've been transferred to watch the server room. Watching the server room? For a project manager level programmer like me, there is zero doubt. This is basically forced exile and a massive, poorly disguised insult. Plus, I heard Lai Kai lowers his voice that Sangeet officially reported you to Zhao Tong, claiming your mental state is highly unstable and you secretly altered key project data, risking a massive leak of company secrets. I just nod, my face showing absolutely zero surprise. This is exactly the next step in Sangeet's plan. Tun Vu, why aren't you panicking even a little bit? Lai Kai is totally losing his mind. He clearly stabbed you in the back. We have to go explain this to Zhao Tong. No need, I say. I pat his shoulder, my voice terrifyingly calm. Let him have it. The higher he climbs, the harder he falls. After saying that, I just walk straight back to my desk. My desk has already been completely cleared out, computer totally gone. An HR rep stands right there, speaking to me in this super corporate tone. Tun Vu, the transfer order is now in effect. Please complete your handover immediately and report down to the basement server room. Sangeet is standing not too far away, surrounded by a whole group, like some victorious general. Seeing me, his mouth twists into this cruel little smirk, and he walks right over. Oh, wow, Tun Vu, I feel so embarrassed. He says with total fake sincerity, I really didn't expect things to turn out this way. But don't worry, with the Theme Quinn project in my hands, I'll definitely make it shine. I absolutely won't waste all your early hard work. He deliberately stresses the words early hard work, trying to completely provoke me. I just look at him, slowly breaking into a smile. Alright then, I wish you massive success. My smile seems to make him feel just a little bit uneasy, but he quickly brushes it off, writing it off as my powerless frustration. I'll gladly take that wish, he says. Then he turns around smugly and walks off, leaving behind this incredibly arrogant silhouette. The surrounding coworkers start whispering, their eyes looking at me with an extra dose of suspicion and disgust. In their eyes, I'm just this weak loser who got his girlfriend stolen and his project snatched. Without even putting up a fight. I don't even care about those stares. I calmly finish the handover paperwork, grab my personal things, and head straight down to the basement server room. The server room is freezing cold and super loud. Rows of servers flash with this dark green light, almost like glowing monster eyes. But here's the thing, this place is exactly what I wanted, because it holds the company's absolute highest intranet access. I find a maintenance terminal and sit down, fingers flying across the keyboard, lines of code rushing down the screen like a flowing waterfall. I'm waiting for a signal, waiting for Sangeet to lose his restraint and open my little present. Every single second ticks by. 3 p.m. My phone vibrates a text from my junior saying the fish is in the net. I crack a smile, and almost at that exact second, the company's internal communication software absolutely explodes. Everyone's profile picture starts flashing like absolute crazy. A video file titled Special Gift for Vice President Sang gets massively blasted out to the personal inboxes of every single senior manager, including CEO Zhao Tong, all the department heads and Sangeet's father, Vice Chairman Sang of the corporate board. I do not have access to that executive group, but I can easily picture the absolute chaos brewing in there. And yet, this is only the very beginning. I immediately launch step 2 of my grand plan. I hack straight into Sangeet's computer through his own webcam. Then I stream his live feed directly onto the absolute largest digital display down in the company's main first floor front lobby. Right now, Sangeet is sitting inside that project management office he just snatched up. He is acting super smug, making a quick phone call to Luke Thien. Babe, it is completely done. I finally kicked that total loser Tun Vu down to guard the server room. Haha. His laughter sounds incredibly arrogant and totally grating. Oh, Sang, you're just so amazing. I always knew you were the absolute best. Luke Thien sounds so ridiculously sweet it makes you sick. Obviously, once I fully control the Thien Quinn project data at the big press conference next month, I will become the company's top hero. Just watch how I crush everyone who ever dared to look down on me. He hangs up the phone, takes a very smug sip of his coffee, and then shifts his gaze back to his monitor. Right there on the screen is the encrypted file I specially named as a gift. His face shows a little curiosity mixed with pure arrogance. Trying to play mind games, he mutters under his breath, casually typing a password onto the keyboard. That password happens to be his favorite catchphrase. Everything is perfectly under control. How incredibly ironic. The exact second he hits the enter key, The brand new projector inside his office automatically powers up. It beams his computer display straight onto the pure white wall. But the thing playing on his monitor is no longer a simple screensaver. It is the very first piece of video evidence I secretly recorded. The exact footage of him and Luke Thien plotting to steal the Thien Quinn project inside my own living room. Tu Thien, when are you finally going to end things with that ton guy? Once we secure the project, he will be left with absolutely nothing. Now watch this exact reaction. All the color instantly drains from Sankeet's face. His eyes go wide with pure terror as he scrambles to yank the power cord. But it is already way too late. Down on that massive digital display in the lobby, hundreds of company employees are watching this exact scene play out in high definition. Everyone just stands there completely stunned. The entire lobby goes absolutely dead silent. Next, the video switches over to the second clip from that private dining room. Then comes the third recording from my own study. Every single audio clip and clear image slams down like a massive sledgehammer, proving Sankeet and Luke Thien's undeniable guilt. Sankeet completely loses his mind. He practically attacks the projector, but security guards immediately rush in and pin him down. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting perfectly comfortably in the basement server room. Through my secure monitoring terminal, I am watching everything unfold. I quickly extract all the feedback data, returning directly from my clever Trojan horse. The logs clearly display every single step Sankeet took. After he managed to grab my completely fake data, he immediately went out of his way to contact the company's main competitor. He planned to sell the Thien Quinn project to the Coworker group for a massive price, totally playing both sides. Every single private message and price quote is fully documented, missing absolutely nothing. This is not just stealing a promotion anymore. This is straight up heavy corporate espionage. I neatly organize this undeniable evidence report and send it completely anonymously, straight into the mailboxes of CEO Zhao and the legal department head. The game is officially over. Things are blowing up way faster than I even expected. Less than an hour later, CEO Zhao's personal internal line rings right down in the server room. His voice shakes with some totally uncontainable fury, heavily mixed with pure relief after surviving such a massive scare. Tun Vu, you need to get up to my office right now. The moment I finally step into CEO Zhao's office, I see Sankeet's father, Vice Chairman San. The guy who usually acts so incredibly high and mighty, is currently slumped over on the sofa. He honestly looks like he just aged 20 whole years. Several uniformed police officers are standing nearby. The atmosphere in the room feels extremely tense and heavy. Seeing me walk in, CEO Zhao quickly strides over and heavily pats my shoulder. His eyes look incredibly complicated. Tun Vu, the company seriously wronged you this time around. He lets out a massive sigh, admitting they were all almost completely fooled by that absolute traitor, Sankeet. I just shake my head. CEO Zhao, none of this is your fault. But all these things you did. CEO Zhao points straight at the detailed evidence report open on his computer monitor. Why exactly didn't you just tell me about this sooner? Now watch this play out. I look straight into his eyes and reply very calmly. Because I truly needed a perfect one-strike kill opportunity. If I only provided the proof of their little affair. Considering Vice Chairman Sang's massive influence in the company, his son would probably just offer a fake apology and happily transfer over to another department. Meanwhile, I might be completely sidelined just for playing petty tricks behind their backs. I really could not risk that bet. And the company could not risk that bet either. CEO Zhao stays completely silent. He knows I am telling the harsh truth. The main office door finally swings open. The HR director and the legal director walk right in to face CEO Zhao and Vice Chairman Sam. The HR director looks extremely grim. The whole situation has been thoroughly investigated. Sankeet definitely used some highly illegal methods to steal the company's core project secrets. He fully intended to sell them off directly to our corporate rival. The evidence is completely undeniable, and Luke Thien, acting as his main accomplice, was deeply involved in the entire criminal process. Following company policy and strict labor laws, we have officially decided to instantly terminate the employment contracts of these two individuals. We completely reserve the right to pursue serious legal action. The legal director quickly steps in to add more context, considering that Sankeet's reckless actions clearly show the major signs of serious corporate espionage and the very serious crime of workplace embezzlement involving a truly massive amount of money. We strongly advise the company to report this to the police immediately and file a lawsuit to recover every single loss we might have to suffer. Sang Pheng's body shakes uncontrollably, almost sliding right off the sofa. He slowly lifts his head, giving me this completely desperate, pleading look. TNV, please, for the sake of our old friendship and connection, could you possibly let him off the hook? He's my one and only son. I just smile, a pretty cold look. Old friendship, Sang Pheng, when your precious son and my girlfriend were laying right in my bed, secretly plotting to destroy absolutely everything I built. Did he ever mention old friendship to you? When he completely stole all my hard work, turned around to falsely frame me, and then tossed me into the server room like absolute trash. Did he bring up friendship then? My voice isn't loud, but every single word hits like a solid nail driving straight into the hearts of everyone present. I'm just a normal guy. I simply want to keep what I worked so incredibly hard to build. They were the ones who completely cut my survival path first. I actually gave them a fair chance. They refused. So I stopped looking at him and turned straight to Gio Tieng. Gio Tieng, regarding the Thien Kun project, I have a pretty bold request. Go ahead and speak. I sincerely hope the company can take a good portion of the compensation from this major lawsuit to establish a special fund that actively protects our everyday employee rights. It would be specifically meant to help out regular workers who face serious workplace injustice, but completely lack resources and connections. At the same time, I really hope you can rebuild our corporate culture. This way, true ability and good character, rather than just background and connections, become the absolute only standard used to evaluate any employee. Gio Tieng looks deeply right into my eyes, his gaze completely filled with genuine appreciation. Alright, I fully agree with you. He states it firmly, total, unwavering confidence. TNV, starting today you're officially back in charge of the Thien Kun project. Actually, no, you will be the main director of our newly established Smart Tech Research and Development Department. You'll have total control over Thien Kun and all our future research projects. Your salary is immediately doubled, plus, you get a huge stock option bonus. This massive storm finally comes to an end in a way literally nobody saw coming. Now, here is where the payoff hits. Because the stolen money involved was so ridiculously huge, Sang Kit and LC Thin immediately get criminally detained by the police. They're now waiting for some seriously harsh legal punishment and a massive civil compensation fine. Sang Pheng's hair actually turns completely white overnight. He hands in his resignation and forcefully sells off a big chunk of his shares just to pay for his son's crimes. All those company rumors about me instantly flip. I go from being some pathetic weakling to a ruthless mastermind who knows exactly how to perfectly plot a flawless, absolute counterattack. Some respect me, others fear me. At the victory party, El Ki gets completely wasted, just hugging me and crying like a literal child. Brother V, I never expected you to be this incredibly awesome. You are seriously my absolute idol. I just smile. I down my drink. There's honestly no such thing as natural-born idols in this world. It's really just someone getting backed into a total corner, forced to literally grow out wings just so they can keep surviving. Exactly 1 week after everything completely wraps up, a totally strange number rings my phone. I pick it up, and from the other side comes this really old, haggard woman's voice. Is this TNV? I am LC Thin's mother, she says. I stay totally silent. TNV, please, I'm begging you, could you possibly talk to the cops and let Tiu Thin go? Listen to this wild excuse. She claims she was just briefly confused, completely tricked by that Sang guy, but she still truly loves you. She's our family's only daughter. If she goes to prison, how are your uncle and I supposed to survive the rest of our lives? The woman on the other end just cries miserably. Total silence. She is completely choked up. If this were the old me, maybe I'd actually feel a bit soft-hearted, but right now, my heart's been forged into solid iron. After dealing with so much heavy betrayal and vicious scheming, Auntie, I finally speak up, perfectly calm. The law is perfectly fair. She did something terrible, so she has to face the real consequences. This honestly isn't something I can just decide. How could you possibly be this heartless? Were those whole 3 years of love between you and Tiu Thin just completely fake? Her voice suddenly turns extremely sharp and cold. It was very real, I reply calmly. Exactly. Because it was real, the pain hits way harder, making it completely unforgivable. I pause for a second, remembering the last time I saw LC Thin on that security camera as the cops dragged her away. Her face didn't show one single ounce of regret, just pure, toxic resentment and total defiance. She glared right at the lens like she was staring straight at me. her mouth clearly forming the words, "You won't ever get a good ending." That exact moment, I knew for sure that any last bit of warmth between us had already been completely wiped out. "Auntie, nobody knows better than you whether your daughter actually loved me. Years ago, you mocked me for being broke and pushed her straight toward Sankit, hoping to climb high and enjoy that luxury. Now, you come crawling back to beg me. Don't you find that completely ridiculous?" Dead silence. I follow up with one final point, emphasizing every single word. "Back then, Elsie Thin constantly came around, time after time, asking for cash, claiming you were hospitalized for high blood pressure, heart disease, and kidney failure. In total, I handed her $270,000. That was my blood, sweat, and tears. Money I earned staying up all night writing endless code. Please pass a message. Once she gets out of prison, I'll be collecting that full debt, principal, and heavy interest, without missing a single dime. Dropping that, I don't even give her a split second to reply. Just immediately hang up and block the number for good." Outside, the bright golden sun is totally shining. I stand up, walking over to the huge floor-to-ceiling window, just watching the busy city traffic rushing endlessly down below. Then my phone suddenly buzzes again. It's the lead representative for our brand new project, a highly energetic, incredibly smart woman. The profile picture is just this bright smile. "Director TN, I am really looking forward to our discussion at the 3 p.m. meeting today." I shoot back an OK symbol. Then I scroll through my contacts, searching for the one specific name I used to keep pinned right at the very top. Elsie Thin. I stare at her name for quite a while. Every beautiful memory and all that past heartbreak flashes through my mind like some old movie. Finally, it all melts away into one completely silent sigh. I press the delete button. The confirmation box pops right up, questioning me one final time. "Confirm, delete contact Elsie Thin. This specific action is permanent and absolutely cannot be undone." I hit confirm without any hesitation. "You feel that weight lifting? Goodbye," I whisper to myself. Goodbye to the incredibly naive TNV who used to treat love like his whole entire world.